You've been doing your best, and it still don't feel like enough. You watch people cross finish lines you can't even see yet, and something tightens in your chest. Promotions, announcements, engagements, houses, milestones with captions that make it look easy. You're happy for 'em, you really are. But underneath that, there's a quieter question that won't leave you alone. Why does it feel like everyone else is moving forward and I'm still here? You show up, you work, you keep going. You're not lazy, and you know that. But the distance between where you are and where you thought you'd be by now feels longer every time you look at it, like the road keeps stretching the moment you step onto it. And the worst part is how hard it is to explain. On paper, you're fine. You're functioning. You're getting by. But inside, there's this dull, constant shame that you don't have more to show for the years you've already given. That kind of weight doesn't make noise. It just stays. Let me say something plainly before we go any further. Not everything that takes a long time is failing. That's hard to accept when you're living inside the delay, when every year that passes without the thing you're reaching for feels like proof that you missed your chance. But stay here with me for a moment. Think about building something real. Not an idea, not a plan, something you have to touch. A fence, for example. You don't build a fence all at once. You build it in the margins of your life. One post after work, one evening when your back's sore and the light's already fading. Some nights you only manage a single hole in the ground. Some nights you just stand there staring at it, wondering if you'll ever finish. From the road, it doesn't look like progress. It looks like nothing's happening. But you know better, because that post is in the ground, and tomorrow there'll be another. Somewhere along the way, we were taught to believe life moves on a single timeline, like there's a right pace, and if you fall behind it, something's wrong with you. But that clock was never set fairly. Some people start closer to the finish. They have support, money, guidance, or simply fewer obstacles in the way. Others start further back and don't even realize it until they're already running. They have to learn things the long way. They have to stop and fix what breaks. They have to carry more than most people ever see. That isn't failure, that's reality. The trouble starts when you look around and decide your life should look like someone else's by now. Same age, same timing, same milestones, as if any of that accounts for what it took just to get where you are. Ahead of what exactly? And according to who? I used to believe I was late to everything. Late to stability, late to peace, late to a life that felt settled. I watched people my age build things that looked finished while I was still figuring out where I stood. For a long time, I thought that meant I was wasting my years. Then one evening, much later than I expected, I was sitting in a small place I'd finally managed to call my own. Nothing impressive, just solid, just mine. And it hit me all at once. I wasn't late. I was on a different schedule. The years I thought I was losing were years I was surviving, learning, becoming someone who could actually hold on to the good things when they arrived. And if those things had come earlier, I don't think I'd have known what to do with them. Some lives unfold slower on purpose, not because you're doing it wrong, but because what you're building needs time to take shape. Being in the middle of it is the hardest part. The middle is where nothing's decided yet, where you're still showing up without any guarantee it's going to pay off, where you can't point to a result and say, see, this was worth it. That kind of uncertainty wears people down. It makes them doubt themselves. It makes 'em wonder if they should be further along by now. But that middle ground is where the real work happens, not the kind that gets applause, the kind that quietly changes who you are. When you build something slowly, you learn it. You know where the ground was hard, where you had to adjust, where you thought about quitting and didn't. And when it finally stands, it doesn't just hold space, it holds history. That's what you're doing right now, even if it doesn't look like much yet. I know you're tired. I know it feels like you've been carrying this longer than you expected to. And watching other people move ahead while you're still here can make you question everything. But listen to this carefully. Nothing is wrong with the pace you're moving. You are not defective because your life isn't arriving on schedule. You are not broken because the process is taking longer than you planned. And you are not behind just because you can't see the finish line yet. You're allowed to still be becoming. This moment isn't a verdict. It's a chapter, one that doesn't explain itself later. You don't owe anyone an explanation for where you are right now. You don't have to justify your timeline. You don't have to pretend you're not tired, or that it doesn't hurt, or that you have it all figured out. All you have to do is stay. Stay with yourself. Stay with the work you're doing, even if it's slow, even if it looks unfinished from the outside, even if no one else understands why it's taken this long. The fire is still warm. That means the story isn't over. Rest here. You've carried enough for one day.